we have a really special board member. We probably really need to get more of our board members on because we have some really cool board members that we'd want to introduce you to. But a number of months ago, as a board of directors, we were meeting and we talked about the need of having more a woman's voice and more women's voices on our board of directors. And as we sat and talked about it and looked at the characteristics of new board members that we'd like to add, Gary Morrow, who's our chairman of the board, he said, I know a really unique person that is not in direct selling, but could be a powerful voice on our board. He said, she's a movement maker. She's one of the most sought after motivational speakers on the planet. She's a New York Times bestselling author, and she's a biohacker. And I'm like, who is this woman that you're talking about? And he said, Erin Brockovich. And I went, Erin Brockovich, the one that they made the movie about, a while back. And if you haven't seen it, go get it. It's with Julia Roberts, Erin Brockovich, great movie. And I said, wow, that was not something I was expecting. But as all of us thought about it, it was a biohacker, movement maker, motivational speaker, best-selling author. And so she flew in and met with us. And I have to say, she is just a powerful, delightful person to get to know. And I look forward to getting to know her over the coming years. And I think she'll bring a lot of excitement and new ideas to our board. Let me just read to you a little bit about her. I mentioned that they did make a movie about her. And as you remember from that, she became acquainted with a lawyer named Ed Masry. And that seemed to have changed, that relationship changed both of their lives. Erin had met him. She had been injured in a car accident. And that's where she got to know this attorney. And she eventually became a file clerk in his law firm. And it was due to Erin's exhaustive investigation that uncovered that PG&E, or Pacific Gas and Electric, had been poisoning the small town of Hinckley's water for over 30 years. It was because of Erin's unwavering tenacity that PG&E had been exposed for leaking toxic chromium-6 into the groundwater. This poison affected the health of the population of Hinckley, and in 1996, as a result of the largest direct action lawsuit of its kind, spearheaded by Erin and Ed, the utility giant was forced to pay out the largest toxic tort injury settlement in U.S. history, which was $330 million in damages to more than 600 Hinckley residents. I also mentioned to you that she is a New York Times bestselling author. She's president of Brockovich Research Consulting, and she's currently involved in numerous environmental projects worldwide. She's one of the most requested speakers on the international lecture circuit and travels the world for personal experiences. She lives in Southern California. She has 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and 3 Pomeranians. And with that, Erin, thank you for joining me today.
Good morning. It's nice to be here. How are you?
Oh, it's always great to have you. As I mentioned, I look forward to, you and I have had a chance to spend some time with each other and get to know each other. And you are our first board member that we have spotlighted, one on one of our Facebook Lives, but also had speaking on the stage. So congratulations with that.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be here for a whole host of reasons. So thank you for the great introduction too.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
It's always weird being me and sitting back and, listening to that. Like, yeah.
No. Well,
let's get to the good stuff.
Well, no, it's always great. Erin, you are one of the most sought after speakers. And I think you had mentioned to me that you were the most sought after, or you're always like 1 or 2. And it was like between you and Bill Clinton or something like that. And I always thought that was
and I'm not.
The what?
Yeah, I've been a very, very requested keynote speaker for, oh my gosh, I think going on 18 years. That was something I was never expecting. We could always talk about that. I was never expecting anything. Like, who in their wildest dreams kind of just makes up on a warm Kansas day where I'm from that I'll uncover a massive toxic tort litigation. They'll make a film about it, and Julia Roberts will play you, and you'll go on to write a book and speaking circuit. Nobody would.
No,
I don't know.
No, that's great. Well, when you come out and visit us at Kansas City, and thank you for making the time to come out and share some time with all of our distributors.
My roots.
I know you are from Kansas City. That's great.
Lawrence, Kansas. I'm a Jayhawker, but I went to Kansas State.
Okay. Well, welcome back to Kansas. We're looking forward to it again. For everybody out there, July 18th through the 21st. Make sure you get your tickets. What can you share with us a few things that can kind of tease us on some of the things that you might share?
Probably a lot of the mentors in my life. I had a lot of struggles in school. I'm a dyslexic, and I had two amazing parents, and everything that they taught me and I learned that I've applied to life, I'm here to tell you it works. I'm a real person. I know that there's always these ideas that she was in Hollywood or this or that. And I've enjoyed the film from the perspective that it created so much awareness for things that were going on then that we don't know about that are continuing on today. And it's everyone's perception of who they believe I am or I'm not always kind of giggles me. My son and I were talking about people who win the lotto. Everyone says they changed, but it was really everyone around them whose perception kind of changed, and they're still the same person. And I am still that same person, that girl that grew up in Kansas, and things that I learned and applied from my parents, I'm here to tell everybody works. One of the things I'm going to talk about is stick-to-itiveness. I learned that from my mom. It's an amazing word. People often don't really know its definition. It's noun, propensity to follow through in a determined manner, dogged persistence born of obligations. And that's all of us. And if you can find, I think all of us are stubborn, we're persistent, we're determined, we have obligations, we know what we want to meet. We just lose that drive sometimes. And I want people to know they're their best ally. They don't need a hero. They can be that hero. And if you can tap into this person, what you can achieve is amazing. And that's really what I want to focus on while I'm in Kansas City. I was really privileged to pass the Olympic torch. And I really wanted to learn, what can I offer others? I don't want to sit here and talk about Erin Brockovich. I want to pass on tools and things that are useful to everybody, and that they can pick up the torch and be in charge of their own life. That's what I'm going to talk about in Kansas City. And I'm going to be really strong, because I'll be standing on my rooted ground where I'm from.
You'll be the home team in there, in your own place. I like the idea of this stick-to-itiveness, because, as I look at the direct selling industry that we're part of, and even with LifeVantage, where we find, I would say that one of the greatest challenges as an industry and as a company that we face is probably stick-to-itiveness. Typically, when we see the greatest drop-off of people, you would think that, when people invest and they come in to start their own business, that you would try it for a period of time and, give it all that you can for a number of months. And then maybe sometimes people fail. You'd think, they might try it a year or two. The greatest drop-off that we have statistically is between the moment that they sign up and the moment they place their first subscription order with us, their first follow-up order. So it's a period of time when you haven't even had a chance to really try the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that stick-to-itiveness, that, and I was trying to take notes, that the definition you gave was, I can't remember, a dogged passion or something. So it was very applicable. And I think
I'll give it to you again. It's
okay.
definition, noun,
Okay.
propensity to follow through in a determined manner, dogged persistence, born of obligation and stubbornness. Ring a bell with many people? I'm sure it does.
No, it's great. It's perfect. I think that topic's going to be wonderful for us. Well, Erin, can you talk to us a little bit about, in the same sense, when Gary had brought up your name and said, I know someone, and as we began looking at who you were as a person and your passions and from what we could see, and biohacking, speaking, writing, really starting movements and driving movement, because more than just a company, LifeVantage, we're driving a movement. We're a biohacker movement that we're driving worldwide. And we're driving entrepreneurialism and the ability of people to take control of their own lives. These are the movements we're pushing. We thought you would be a wonderful fit for us. What was going through your mind as some company named LifeVantage out of Utah approached you and said, "Hey, we'd love to have you as part of our board." What was going through your mind?
Well, a couple of things. Excuse me, I'm having a lot of eye allergies out here in California today. I've had the privilege of getting to know your chairman of the board, Gary Morrow, and how the whole LifeVantage conversation began with us is I was often intrigued with Gary's health. I care a great deal about my health, everyone's health. Matter of fact, when I began my work way back in Hinkley when I was 31 years old, I wasn't even that focused on hexavalent chromium. I was focused on the loss of people's health and welfare. And that was very disturbing to me. And so it's always been in my life. I'm the one that has sought out acupuncturists many years ago about food, water, all of that stuff. And Gary's very healthy, on the go man. And he got to talking to me about some of your products. And I became very intrigued with the NRF and the oxidative stress and all of those changes, the research that you had done. And so I became very intrigued from that perspective because I felt a real health and wellness, camaraderie with Gary and what LifeVantage was doing. And so, as things got further, here I am on the board. I want to share with everyone what I said with all your board. And what I appreciated was the openness and the willingness that every board member shared to think outside of a box. We all have perceptions, and I can see and have perceptions of boards that they're the elite people at a board. I've seen it, and because of my work with PG&E, I've been so intrigued about who are these board members and why do they feel not accessible to everyday people just like me. And when I sat and met with the board, I saw, you talk about biohacking. I saw the careers that they've had, their families, their openness and willingness, that transparency, if you will, to allow a person that isn't in the corporate world to have a seat at the table. I found that enlightening, encouraging, impressive, exciting. And there's always been this disconnect between companies and people, and they go hand in hand in making everything function and move for the benefit of all. And I saw that in the board, and I just thought, oh, this would be such a great home. and a wonderful opportunity to open that door of having a seat at that table and working together for the betterment of everyone. And that is LifeVantage Board. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
Well, we're thrilled to have you as part of our board. And, this hand-in-hand relationship that you talked about, I think that's something that is so crucial, especially in our industry, because unlike most companies, how you succeed at LifeVantage is helping other people succeed. The more people you help succeed, the more successful you become as a distributor leader. The more people that we as a company help succeed within the distributor force and our customers makes us a more successful company. So we are going hand in hand. It is a partnership. And there is, we always strive to have that transparency with everyone as to, what our plans are, where we're going, but also to hear directly back from them where they would like to see us go, so that it truly becomes a partnership. So
I think that is so exciting. And I think so many of our issues come from, whether we feel suppressed or there's all these divisions. And again, the best way I can explain it is the willingness of the board of LifeVantage to see that everyone, and you talk about your direct sellers, can have that seat at that table, be involved, be active, have access, just everything that you've said. And that's very unique. But that's what, again, I'm going to go back to biohacking, and I kind of bounce around a little because, we have science and medicine, and don't think that I ever think we don't need it, because we do. But there's things that we experience that we know do and don't work for us. And there's almost never been that opportunity to say, wait a second, yes, it does. And to even rise up and question, no, that didn't work for me. And we're all individuals. And so there isn't this broad swath of what's going to work for one will work for all, because of our uniqueness as individuals. And the biohacking fascinates me. And I believe that you have an entire direct sales force out there that I really am excited to get to know and come meet, that will become the leaders in that as well. And recognizing individualism and the power that we have, and how we can move suppressions away from us, how we can unlock that key, punch our way out of that box, and find that excitement and passion in life, not only for ourselves, but our family, our friends, our neighbors. And this is where you will really see me get very passionate, because I think that's what it's all about. And at the end of the day, when you can follow what almost feels like a natural calling, you'll just be unstoppable.
wonderful. Well, Erin, any final words of wisdom? I know that, our time is growing short. Any final words of wisdom before we end, and then we'll see you soon, hopefully in July coming up. Any final words?
It's hard to know where to just kick off in a short amount of time. My parting words is I really look forward to meeting and seeing so many people in Kansas City. Remember the word stick-to-itiveness. Life requires that you have it. I'm going to share a whole lot of stuff, but I'm an extremely passionate person. But really what I want to know is if in any way, shape, or form I can pass that torch off to every one of them in that room and ignite them to go out that door and be who they are, and in charge and passionate about their work and their life and moving forward and sharing the word with everyone else. That would be my parting word. They make a difference. That will be my parting word. And I don't want them to ever forget that.
Well, thank you. Erin, it's a pleasure to have you on with us today. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. And each of you who are watching, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules. And I'm sure that along with me, you're looking forward to meeting Erin in person and seeing her at our Kansas City event coming up July 18th through the 21st. So make sure, if you haven't got your tickets, get your tickets. We'll see you there. It's the 10th year anniversary. Erin, again, thank you for all that you've done so far with us on the board and what you're going to do in the future. I think it'll be a great relationship.
I do too. Thank you so much. It was great to be here this morning.
All right. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.